family called the Cleavers. My dad, the perfect Ward Cleaver, nice guy. I was the goofy older brother. My little brother was a perfect Beaver Cleaver. And June Cleaver, the mother, beautiful June, always wearing a white apron, just like my mother, and always speaking her lines from the kitchen, just like my mother. The Cleavers were the perfect family, just like my family appeared to be. Oh, I had everything. I was loved. But my mother, June Cleaver herself, failed me in one big way. And it has impacted my life to this very day. My mother failed to teach me anything about cooking or the kitchen. I learned early on, if I was hungry, all I had to do was say the magic mantra, "What's for dinner?" And voila, there it would be, meat and mashed potatoes. That mantra worked well all the way through grade school, junior high school, and high school. It also worked well when I went away to college. What's for dinner was spoken in the cafeteria line, and the answer always was mystery meat and mashed potatoes. With about 30 days to go before graduating from the University of Colorado School for the Bewildered, I had a realization. My mantra was not going to work anymore. What was I going to do? I believe the cooking gods and the kitchen gods got together and came up with a plan to keep my mantra working. And what a plan it was. My girlfriend got pregnant. It seems that cooking was not the only thing about which I was ignorant. We got married, and that mantra worked well for 11 years, usually producing meat and mashed potatoes. But then, the cooking gods and the kitchen gods got together, and I think they were joined by the big boss goddess herself. And they came up with a plan to make sure that my mantra would not work anymore. Enough is enough. This hillbilly has to learn how to cook. The plan? Divorce. I moved into a little one-bedroom shack, literally in the middle of an apple orchard. In 2 days' time, my 3 daughters were coming for their first visitation. I wanted to impress them. I was determined to cook my daughters a meal. Having never been shopping for food in my life, I walked into the local grocery store, feeling like a cross between Alice in Wonderland and Goofy. I walked up and down the aisles, bewildered. I finally found something I knew they would like. I picked them up at 5 o'clock, and driving to my little shack, I was introduced to the concept of karma when my oldest daughter said, "Dad, what's for dinner?" You'll see. We got home. My girls entertained themselves playing a board game while I walked into that kitchen like a warrior going to battle. I was scared, but on a mission. I stared at this big red and white box that I had purchased and placed on the counter. On the side of the box was a beautiful lady wearing a white apron, just like June Cleaver. She was taking a big bite out of golden brown fried chicken. I walked up to that box, and I opened it, and I looked inside, and I was horrified, mortified, fit to be fried. There was no chicken in that box. Dad, what's for dinner? Nothing. Get in the car. On the side of the box it said shake and bake, and the only thing shaken was me. I was so scarred by that incident that I did not cook another meal for 8 years. My new mantra, what's on the menu? I'll have meat and mashed potatoes. But then I met a lady named Susan, and I wanted to impress her. I invited her to my house, believe it or not, for dinner. I was a little better prepared. She walked into my house and started looking around. She paid close attention to the kitchen. And I thought, this lady is sizing me up. I had already sized her up, and it had nothing to do with the kitchen. She looked at my stove and said, oh, you have a new stove. To show you how stupid a man can be. I said, no, it came with the condominium about 7 years ago. She said, oh, you must really like to clean. To show you how really stupid a man could be. I said, no, it hasn't been used much. By the look on her face, I knew I had wasted good money on fine wine and a candle. The dinner was edible, at least she said it was. And I believe that the kitchen gods and the cooking gods and the big boss goddess were so pleased with my effort, they came up with a plan to restore my mantra to good working order. The plan? Marry Susan. That mantra, what's for dinner, has worked well for the last 38 years, but not in the way that June Cleaver understood it. There's no white apron, at least in the kitchen. All of the important lines, none of them are spoken from the kitchen. And I believe that the gods just, the vote could not have been unanimous, because all of my meals have been vegetarian. That's okay. I have assured all of the relevant gods that I am fine just the way it is. I am taking responsibility for not learning a darn thing for 7 decades. And I am also pleased and happy and grateful to live the 21st century version of Leave It to Beaver. What's for dinner, Mr. Toastmaster? Veggie dogs for everyone.
Again,